In the last class, we have discussed about CSRF vulnerability. Similarly, you can also learn about the SSRF. Okay, and today we are going to discuss about information disclosure vulnerability, and it occurs when a system or an application reveals the sensitive information to the unauthorized users. This can be include personally identifiable information or financial data or credentials or any other confidential data. For example, when the error messages or stack traces reveals too much information about the system's inner workings, the attacker can exploit this together the intelligence about the system's architectures, and potentially it will leads to the exploitation of that weakness. Or sometimes systems are configured with default settings, and that will expose the sensitive information. For example, the directory listing might be enabled on a web server, allowing anyone to see the contents of directories that should be protected. Or it can be the missing or weak authentication or authorization. For example, if access controls are not properly implemented, the attacker may able to access the sensitive information without the proper authentication. And the transmitting of the sensitive data via URLs can expose it to the interception or logging by various systems such as the proxies or web servers, or potentially leading to the unintended disclosure. And to mitigate this, we have to implement proper error handling mechanism to avoid the revealing sensitive information, or we have to regularly review and adjust the default settings to ensure they align with the security best practices, and we have to enforce the security authentication and authorization control. So we can start a lab today. Okay, and if you want to know more theoretical about this vulnerability, you can check this. What is information disclosure? You can read this part. Okay, you can read this. So in this lab, its verbose error message revealed that using vulnerable version of third-party framework. So we have to expose it. Okay, got it? So let me access the lab. 1 second. Let's wait till it gets completely loaded. Okay, so let me copy this and paste it in the Chromium. So, 1 second. Okay, so go to the proxy and in the HTTP history, so view details. Here you can see a product ID is passing, a parameter is passing. In most of the cases, if you get any request which passes the parameter, or if you get any URL which passes the parameter, you can try in this. Okay, most of the cases we can get any vulnerability from that URL itself. So I'll send this to the repeater. So in the repeater, okay, let me send this, and we got 200. Okay, and here I'll change this product ID into Nimisha. I mean, it was a number and I'm changing it to a string. So send this internal server error, and when we scroll down, here we can see a vulnerable version of Apache Struts. Got it? So let me copy this, come back to the Chromium, submit solution, paste here. Okay, the lab got solved. When we changed the parameter value, it displayed a vulnerable version. Okay, so this is an information disclosure. So now we found the vulnerable version or the version of the Apache Struct which is used in this lab, right? So once again, we can also use the vaporizer. So no technology is detected in this thing. Oops, oops. Maybe because it's hosted in the virtual space, right? That's the issue. So similarly, we can use the vaporizer tool to find the version, or find the technologies that is used in this. Okay. So here we found using this parameter product ID. Okay. Fine. Let me open the another lab. Information disclosure on debug page. If you are a newbie, this information disclosure is best thing for you. Reckon is the best method to get boundaries. Okay, so here the lab contain a debug page, and which he expose the sensitive information. Okay, fine. So let me access this. We have to obtain the secret key to solve this lab. Okay, so let me copy the URL. There are so much noisy. I'm so sorry for that. So first of all, let me clear history, and in the Chromium, I'll paste this thing. So just wait. Okay, till it's completely loaded. Okay, let me open any product page. Nothing here. So in this case, we can go to the target page, and this is our current lab. And here you can see a php info dot php file, right? So it is an important file or confidential file. Okay, php info dot php. Okay, so you can also find some files. You can also find this file using Google Docking. For example, php in URL colon php info.php. So you got so many things. If this site is eligible for bug bounty, you can report it. Here is a HackerOne report. It's a HackerOne report of that thing. PHP info page. PHP info page disclosure. So they are not providing any bounty for that. Till still you got a bug. I mean information disclosure bug. Okay, PHP info page is debug functionality that prints out the detailed information of both system and PHP configuration. So let me open this. Yeah, they removed that page. So in our lab, here you can see PHP info.php page, and send this to the repeater and send it 200. Okay. In render page, you can see the UI. This is that page, and in the pretty tab, just search for secret key. Yeah, this is the secret key, and copy this and submit the solution. Lab got solved. So if you got any PHP info.php page or some configuration pages, whether it is by Google Docking or GitHub Docking or any other method, if you got any PHP or configuration pages or settings pages, you can directly report it. Okay. In this case, it is not eligible for bounty because they are not providing bounty for this information disclosure, or maybe that PHP page is the old one. Okay. So um, but in most cases you will get bounties or hall of fame or um, swag items. Okay, so let me search for another if there is PHP. PHP info. Let me search like that. So in US Department of Defense, there are so many information disclosure like a PHP info page. Yeah, this is the same thing I have opened. Okay. Okay, they are not providing boundaries. It's a low vulnerability. Still, you can get some Hall of Fame or swag items. Okay, this is not eligible for bounty because it's a test site. Okay, that was a test site. That's why he is not eligible for the bounty. Okay, fine. So that's all for this video. I hope you understood the concept of information disclosure, and please try to do balance three labs in this Portugal and try to follow the same method in your live target. Okay. So thank you. Have a nice day.